الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الأمين الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم التاجر الصدوق الأمين مع النبيين والصديقين والشهداء. رواه الإمام الترمذي رحمه الله تعالى في سننه، أو كما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. My beloved brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. As we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran here gives us a great lesson about the ethics of life, one of the most important ethics of life, and not just life in general, but the same ethic and this principle which Allah Almighty mentions in the Quran. If we apply this ethic into our lives, our family lives, and most importantly, if we apply this specific ethic into the life of our careers and our business specifically, this itself will bring many blessings and will bring lots of barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and lots of success. Because whenever you talk about business, then you want to talk about that type of business which is a means of success. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives us an insight to this in the Quran, and He teaches us a very important ethic and principle, the principle of honesty. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah wa kunu ma'a sadiqeen, that O you who believe, fear Allah, acquire the piety of Allah, yani be pious. That's what fearing Allah means, that you be pious. And it doesn't mean that you assume that you're pious, because like mentioned in Tabihul Ghafilin, once someone came to Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha, and he asked her a question. He asked her that, how do I know if I'm pious? This is the question that was asked to who? al-Mu'mineen, the mother of the believer, Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha. He asked her the question, and what was the question again? What was it? That how? Pious. Yeah, how do you become pious? And this is really a very important question. How do you become pious? Do you become pious by dressing up in a nice, modest way, by growing the beard? And do you become pious by fulfilling the obligations of the deen? How do you become pious? So, this was the question asked to Sayyidah Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha. The question was that, when will I know that I am pious? When will I know that I am pious? Because someone may be assuming that I am pious because I do this, and because I donated this, or because I pray this much, or because I have this much knowledge, etc., etc. She said to him, when you realize that you are a sinner, Sayyidah Aisha al-Mu'mineen, she said that when you realize that you're a sinner, that's when you know that you're pious, which means that you'll realize that you are imperfect. Because being pious doesn't mean that you think you are perfect. Because Allah says in the Quran that the human race has been created, and the human race, the humans are weak. The whole humanity has been created in weakness, which means that they are imperfect. Because the only people who are fallible are the Anbiya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So she said to him that when you realize that you are a sinner, then you know that you're pious. And then he asked again that, okay, and when will I realize that I'm a sinner? When will I realize that I'm a sinner? She replied, radiallahu ta'ala anha, you will realize that you're a sinner when you think you are good. You will realize that you're a sinner when you think you are pious. So we were talking about the principle of fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yani becoming pious. So this is a very good reminder for us from the statement of Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala, which is mentioned in Tanbihul Ghafilin, a book about self-purification and self-reflection as well. And the title of the book is Tanbihul Ghafilin, which means lessons for those who are, in a sense, lazy. So it's like, that's one thing we need to reflect upon, that what does it really mean to fear Allah? It means that you become truly pious, which means that you realize that you are imperfect. And you realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is perfect. And His creation is imperfect. Obviously, except for the Anbiya and the rest of creation, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, whom He made them, in a sense. He gave them that perfection. That was a gift from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we as human beings, we may be able to touch the sky or travel to the moon, but we are imperfect. And that's something we have to realize. And that's the beginning of attaining the piety of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's one of the stages. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us realize that. So once we understand that from this verse that Allah says that, "O you who believe, acquire the piety of Allah, become pious," then Allah goes on to say, notice Allah did not say that become honest. How do you become honest? Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa, she's told us how you become pious, how you know you're pious. When you know you're a sinner. And when do you know you're a sinner? When do you know you're a sinner? When? What did she say? When do you know that you're a sinner? When you think you're pious. Yes. So Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa has given us the definition of piety of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But look at Allah, look in this verse, the same verse that teaches us the ethics of and one of the greatest principles and ethics of life, and obviously one of the most important ethics of business itself. This ethic and this principle is really, we can learn from this the Islamic ethics of business. This one ethic alone. But notice here Allah does not say that be honest, because you should already be honest. As a human being, you should always be honest. That's self-explanatory, isn't it? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, He doesn't say be honest. He gives us the answer to how we can actually become true and honest and genuine people. How do I become honest? By saying I'm honest and then I lie? Do I become pious by saying I'm pious in front of people and behind the scenes I know who I am? How do you become honest? وَكُونُوا, Allah said, وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ. He said that assemble yourselves, be in the company of the Sadiqeen, the pious, the ones who are honest. That's how you will become honest. Because like the Arabs, they say, "Man jalasa janasa," that whoever you sit with, you will take from them, you will become like them. Because company has an effect on you, doesn't it? And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said that sitting with sincere and righteous and pious people is better than sitting alone. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-jalisu salihu khayrun min al-wahda," that sitting in righteous company is better than remaining alone. Because if you sit with good people, you will take something from them. Some goodness will also reflect upon yourself. You will take some positive things by sitting in their company. And at the same time, the Prophet ﷺ, on the contrary to that, he said, "Al-wahdatu khayrun min jalisi su," or kama qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that it's better that you remain alone. It's better that you be alone if you have to be. And although the world nowadays may say that if you're alone, that means you're a joke, and they may make fun of you, but the Prophet ﷺ said that al-wahda, that being alone, remaining alone, is better than bad company. And Allah gives us the answer here to how we can adopt the most important ethic of business, and one of the most important ethics of life, the ethic that gives you credibility, because business is all about credibility, isn't it? When do people invest in you? When they know you're a liar? When they know you're two-faced? Or they invest in you and they invest with you when they trust you? Invest and trust. If there's no trust, no investing. If there's no trusting involved, then you forget about investing. And yes, someone may make a mistake and invest with someone who's a liar, but the next time, because they also know the hadith of the Prophet that do not get bitten by, the believer will not get bitten by the snake bite. The mafhum of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's really the lesson of business there. So the most important ethic is honesty. That's the point that I'm trying to make here. That the most important Islamic ethic about business is honesty itself. And how do you attain the level of being honest? By assembling yourselves, by being in the company of those who are honest, and by neglecting the company of those who are dishonest. And if you look into the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, and I don't have much time because we have our, mashallah, Muslim male and female entrepreneurs who will come, mashallah, they will tell us about their experiences and their success stories that they will share with us. But I just want to leave you with a message. The message is that when we look into the life of the Prophet ﷺ, his life as a prophet, we know that he ﷺ, he was a businessman as well. He engaged in business. But the thing that used to shine from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was his credibility, to the extent that the title of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the title that was given to him, even before he is announcing his prophethood sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they are already calling him Al-Amin. They are calling him the most trustworthy. And if you reflect on this as well, it also teaches us that why did the Prophet ﷺ, why did he gain this credibility? You need credibility. Without credibility, no one will trust you. So the Prophet ﷺ, before announcing prophethood, he already gained this credibility amongst the people, the same people who did not believe in him after he announced, but they still trusted him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam because of his honesty. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that's why I finish with the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and there's lots to share, and some other time inshallah, because today really I want to learn from our brothers and sisters, I want to learn from their success stories, so that I myself can be inspired by them, so that we youngsters who are sitting here today, or general people who are sitting here today, who have an ambitious plan to inshallah one day become an honest and true businessman or woman, you need to obviously have a sense of inspiration from people who have achieved this success. And you want to get inspiration from righteous people, from people who have done business in the way the Prophet ﷺ wanted us to do business. And what is that way? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, when he mentioned a great merit and a great virtue of the people who will, on the Day of Judgment, will be gathered with the prophets and the honest people, the Sadiqeen and the martyrs. The Prophet ﷺ said that At-Tajiru Saduqul Amin, that businessman or businesswoman who is honest and who is trustworthy on the Day of Judgment will be present and will be sat with, will be in the company of who? The prophets. Salawatullahi wa salamullahi ta'ala alayhi. Because why will these true honest businessmen and women, why will they be in the company of the prophets and the Sadiqeen and the Shuhada and the martyrs? Why? Because they are honest. Because to do business with honesty is one of the greatest challenges. When someone comes to you and says that if you do it this way, then you can make this much. But if you just focus on the way of the Prophet ﷺ without thinking about this way, that's why doing business in this way and this manner with honesty, this is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. This is the sunnah way of business that was taught to us by the Prophet ﷺ. The way where you have credibility, where if your name is mentioned, then people will say, if it's from his store, or if you say his name, now I'm satisfied, because of the credibility, because of the honesty. That's what we need to focus on, my dear brothers. This is the ethic that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us. So this is what I leave you with, my brothers and sisters, that inshallah, those of you who intend inshallah to go into business, and those of you who are currently in a successful business, always remember this this merit and virtue of the Prophet ﷺ. Always remember this verse. And if you do come across certain people who don't follow this ethic of honesty and this principle of honesty, then find those people who are honest, who are sincere, associate yourselves with them so that you yourself can become honest and have a good credibility by you being associated with righteous and honesty. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us all the tawfiq and the ability to become righteous and honest. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He blesses all our brothers and sisters who came today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, preserve and elevate you. May Allah grant us all, and may Allah grant you all success in your careers, in your businesses. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you, most importantly, barakah in your businesses as well. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability to spend in His path subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant openings for us. وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Inshallah, I'm going to invite our first guest today. MashaAllah, I'm just going to briefly introduce him. He is the CEO of Auto Hub, which is a car selling company where they sell used cars. And MashaAllah, also he was also the president of the first Muslim president to have presided over an organization which is a very big organization which was established to create awareness about the disease of AIDS. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with the ability to be, as a Muslim, to preside and to be the president of this organization. And MashaAllah, also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed our brother with the ability that he has started his own business in the auto industry, whereas prior to this he was working in various dealerships, but Allah gave him the courage and success that he himself started his own line of business where he's selling used cars, etc. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve and elevate him. So I invite our brother Sayyid Raza, if he can come inshallah and give us a brief insight to his success story and how he came up with this and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened success, the ways of success for him. Please listen.
I came to Canada in 2004 from Pakistan. After completing my education, I had a master's degree in business administration. Mainly I was involved in healthcare and automotive business back home. When I came here, I started my career from Chrysler, Canada, as a sales consultant. Earned my degree in automotive law and ethics from Canada, and gradually moved myself up. From 2004 to 2006, I worked in sales and fleet management. In 2006, I've been promoted as the finance manager for one of the major dealerships in GTA, and then been awarded for a manager of distinction for 2006, 2007 consecutively, and been awarded also for the best employee of Chrysler Canada for the GTA, which is the employee recognition award. After completing that, I've worked with Chrysler over 9 years, and 2 years ago I decided to start my own business. So I started business in Hamilton, opened my dealership called Auto Hub, and been successfully operating since then. One of the key things I'd like to mention is basically the commitment to your work and dedication to it. You have to be very positive in your work of line, whichever you have selected, and you have to think outside the box to do it. Automotive is a very tricky business, if you see, and if you Google it, and car salesman or anything, you find 9 reviews negative and 1 positive about that. There's so much to it. There's a lack of information from the consumer side as well. So considering by identifying the gap of in the information, I started the first radio show, South Asian Car Talk show in GTA, which I've been doing for the last 5 years, providing information for safety, saving, and certifications. So these are the things which basically makes a difference into the community when you provide the information, how to excel into something, and how to provide information to the other people as well. Not just looking into the monetary benefit to it, but providing education with no charge kind of stuff, right? So, the passion in automotive, and in the media line, I start writing into different newspapers. So I'm a freelance editorial. I wrote editorial for several automotive newspapers. And also I'm producing a show with City TV now about cars. So that will be on air in about 2 months from now. So these are the things. So it's important to see what line of a career you are selecting. There's few things which we started here which we have never done before. But it's all about having a dedication into your career, and that will provide you in the honesty. And you know, if you do good, the things will work better for you. So thank you once again for the opportunity. If you have any question for me, please feel free.
Allah bless our dear brother, Sayyid Raza, inshallah. So he will be sponsoring me with a nice AMG. So we have, how many witnesses do we have here? I'm just joking, you know. Inshallah. So without further ado, inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our dear brother in this business. Like he said, in this line, sometimes you see 9 reviews. So this is to be honest, in this line is a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah grant you success, inshallah. We pray for you, and we are really proud of you from our community, from Milton, that you're doing great work, inshallah. And we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to bless you and increase you in goodness, inshallah. We look forward to your talk show, inshallah ta'ala. And we will definitely create awareness about that as well, inshallah. And if anyone, since he's here, if anyone wants to buy a used car, or you want any information, then you know it's good. So the purpose of doing this program is so that you know, we introduce people from our community, from their fields, their respective fields, so that we as the community, we can benefit from their services as well. You know, so it's good to always support our Muslim brothers and sisters in the community as well. So that's the whole purpose, brothers and sisters. MashaAllah, is very smart. Part of being a smart businessman or woman is that whenever you go, you should always encourage people, and also always kind of, in a sense, market yourself as well. Yeah. So that's very important, especially when you're giving the service, inshallah ta'ala. Just one thing I'm going to say, inshallah, before I finish, inshallah, and you can make your checks payable to my name. You don't record this. So that I can go and invest in my dream business, which is to open a religious advice center in the heart of downtown Toronto, where we feed the homeless. This is just a dream, by the way. You don't really have to write the checks, I'm joking. You know? And so we feed the homeless, give them tea, coffee, you know, give them a free blanket. And also we try to, you know, basically, through our akhlaq and through our service to humanity, introduce them to the religion of Islam and to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is just a dream, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a reality, inshallah, with your du'as, inshallah. We were talking about some of the great people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala today in downtown when I was at the campus with some students. And I mentioned to them that one of our teachers told us something which I still remember in 2006 when we were studying Arabic grammar. He said that the Muslims have 2 weapons, 2 strong weapons, that if they use them, then they will defeat anyone. What are these 2 weapons? Salah and dua. So if we utilize the prayer, the salah that we perform, and the dua, the supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you so much. One thing, inshallah, I'll share, and inshallah we call it a day, inshallah, and we can get to know each other, network, etc., is that today, coincidentally, like we mentioned, that business is not just about making money. It's about serving the creation of Allah, having the correct intention, and love doing what you're doing. I know many people right now, they are working, they have jobs, but they don't enjoy what they're doing. So they are, in a sense, wasting their time. Yeah, you have to pay bills and you have to do what you have to do. But the point is, if you do what you love to do, then you will be able to make a change in society. You will be able to positively contribute in society. If you're doing something and your heart's not in it, then you know how how are you going to benefit other people? So today I'll give an example. Today we were getting a cab from the university to Union Station. So we got in the cab and there was a brother who drove us. And so he sat in the car and I kind of sensed that this brother is a Muslim. So and I kind of sensed that, I just felt to me that this brother probably can speak Punjabi. So I started speaking to him in Punjabi, which is my mother tongue language. And we started talking, and to the extent that he was listening to something, and I said, you know, why don't you listen to something? Then he gave me his phone. Then you know, he said, what's your name? Then I told him my name, and then I said, where are you from? It looks to me that you're from Pakistan, from this place. And he said, yeah, I've spent time in that place. And then he said to me, you know, I know you. And I said, okay, you know me? He said, yeah, in 2000, once I was in a program, so you know, that was about the birth of the Prophet ﷺ, and you were there, you were speaking. And I said, okay, really? I said, interesting. Then we were talking, and to the extent that, and obviously our intention was to pay this brother, to the extent that when he then was about to drop us off, I noticed that he switched off the meter of the cup. So and I knew that, you know, okay, now he's gonna, you know, it's because, you know, he's moving beyond business now, beyond the thought of just making money. But now this person, you know, has touched my heart and I've touched his heart. So he stopped the car and I said to him, when the car stopped near Union Station, near the Fairmont Hotel, I said to him, so how can I serve you? Tell me, what can I do for you? He said, what you can do for me is that we're going to get out of the car and we're going to give each other a good hug. So we literally got out of the car, he hugged us, he helped me get some luggage, and that was it. So the point is that, and then I gave him my card and he said, please let me know if you have any programs or stuff. But the reality is that this guy, okay fine, he didn't make 10 bucks from me. But the amount of credibility that this man, and the amount of honor and generosity that this man has shown to me, and love and genuineness and help that he has shown for me, this, I'm not saying this is because of me, but because of him, you know, helping people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a means of his helping, a means of salvation for him on the akhirah. So the message, brothers and sisters, that when you go back to work on Monday, when you go back into business on Monday, yes, we have to make money, we have to pay our bills, you know, we have to make a profit, etc., etc. But the point is, if someone comes, you know, also have the intention to serve them. Because you never know that if you serve one person, if you give them something, if you do one good action for them, if someone doesn't have any money, give them something, give them free advice, or give them something, so that becomes a mean of salvation for you. So that's the message, my dear brother. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you. I'm not saying this so I want any freebies from you. I'm really joking. It's just a nasiha, inshallah, so that you have this sincerity, and so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if this is your intention, and if this is your business adamant of serving the creation of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make wonders for you. So may Allah grant all of us success, barakah in our rizq, in our health, in our wealth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our children as well, and grant them bright futures. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if anyone has any types of debt, may Allah make us debt free. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in our ages as well, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whoever wants to start a journey, inshallah ta'ala, in any form of business, ya Allah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them, and may Allah grant us the ability to always earn halal and to always eat halal. وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وسلم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما ونحن بعبادك الصالحين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وآله في الأولين، وصل على سيدنا محمد وآله في الآخرين، وصل على سيدنا محمد وآله في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين وفي الدين أجمعين. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الحمد لله رب العالمين، الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا انك انت التواب الرحيم. Ya Allah, we ask you, Ya Allah, that you grant us barakah in our rizq, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, grant us the ability to earn halal and to always live halal and to eat halal, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bless our brothers and sisters in their rizq, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Increase them in their goodness, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Increase our children, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in their goodness and their ilm, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Grant us the rizq of ilm, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sustenance of wisdom, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also the sustenance, Ya Allah, of spirituality, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, if we have, Ya Allah, throughout our life made any mistakes, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, any dishonesty, if ever has, Ya Allah, come from us, Ya Allah, please forgive us, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, make us credible Muslims, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that we can contribute to this society, in this country of Canada, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And bless all those who are constantly serving. And Ya Allah, bless all those who are giving us a good name, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا انك انت التواب الرحيم صلى الله تعالى على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين برحمتك يا رب. Once again, I apologize for any unorganization or any lack of professionalism. Inshallah, in the upcoming seminars we try to adhere to more professionalism. We try to be more organized, inshallah. And you're always willing, you're always welcome to contribute or give your suggestions, inshallah, to any of the topics as well, or themes which you think will benefit, inshallah. Jazakumullah, assalamu alaikum.